It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to The Local Show, the 2023 Spring Edition. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my good friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. On The Local Show, we feature conversations about local businesses. We talk to the business owners, the CEOs, the CFOs, the entrepreneurs, nonprofits, some business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We learn how they got into business and why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You will hear all about their successes, challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. And we're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studio, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. And also on YouTube, do check that out because you can see the guests and see Tom and Steve and how we do all this stuff. Hunter and I were talking, Hunter.
Yes.
Representative extraordinaire over in iHeartMedia.
She actually is amazing. You know what she does better than anything?
I don't know.
Puts up with me.
Yes, well, that's very good. Yeah.
She is remarkable.
She'll actually say she likes you.
I know.
That's pretty nice.
I think she is on commission.
Yeah, it's amazing how much commission helps you overlook.
Yes.
But, I forgot what I was saying about her.
You were talking with Hunter.
I was talking with her, but it was something that was specific.
Yes, that's okay. When guys our age, Tom,
yes.
you got to reel it in. You're talking to Hunter this week, and I threw you all the way off. But you knew who I was. You know what I did this week, Tom?
What did you do?
I went and got my ears checked.
Yes, with Dr. Anzalone.
Dr. Anzalone. And ever since then, my back went out.
Yeah.
I got nothing else to blame.
I don't know if there's any.
The hearing was marginally okay. Keep an eye on it, but.
Yeah.
The back. So I'm leaning to the left, and as anybody knows me knows, I don't lean left.
Well, you're very tall, so you're crooked.
Yes,
you're a crooked man in a crooked house.
It is what it is.
We'll talk with Dr. Nicole Anzalone today. She's the owner of Syracuse Hearing Solutions. Kevin Walma will stop by on the show. He's the owner of 43 North, just in time for the boating season.
Yep.
Sev Ganella stops by, director of operations at Clean All Syracuse. Stan Shane is the owner of Syracuse Dog Fence. Charlie Van Patten, owner of Mattress Makers, will come by. Becky Oyer is a physical therapist and a bunch of other initials after her name. She's the owner of Inspire Care of CNY. Corey Reed, general manager of Brewerton and Fulton Speedways, will stop by for a conversation. And then Grant Fletcher will wrap us up. He's the marketing manager at Fleet Feet, all on the Local Show today. And now we say a hearty, healthy good morning to Dr. Nicole Anzalone. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing okay since you, poked around in my ears a little bit. It's good to know. Dr. Anzalone gave both Steve and I a thorough exam. We wanted to go through the whole process because there's a difference between an audiologist and obviously someone who just, prescribes a couple of amplifiers for your ears. So I didn't realize how scientific the test was. I think that's what impressed me the most was that you really get a lot of data on the hearing. It's not just a matter of, can you hear really high or can you hear really low? We're talking about speech patterns and if something is a certain decibel, like we found out in my right ear, if there's a baseline, like, let's call it 0 dB, maybe I can hear fine. But if you go a little bit below that, then I'm missing some of the words.
Yeah. So, we do a really thorough hearing test. We're looking at ear to brain. So we want to look at the different compartments of the ear. So they're different parts. So not only we're finding if you have a hearing loss, but what part of your ear it's coming from. So we look at severity. We look at, type of hearing loss. We look at possible causes of your hearing loss and then decide on how to treat it and get you in the right hands.
Yeah.
So you could have good hearing at some frequencies and then maybe not so good hearing at other frequencies, in which case some people will notice, well, some things I hear fine, but maybe that beep on the refrigerator or microwave, my family could hear it, but I can't. But some things I hear great. I could hear this truck running by or the car driving by in the distance. So that would indicate that there's possibly a hearing loss at some frequencies, but not others. And that could still affect how you're hearing speech, because we are measuring hearing in the speech range.
Yeah.
And not only how much volume you need to hear is important, but the clarity. So we look at both things, because some people say, I could hear, but I can't understand. And so we look at how your brain is processing speech, which is really complicated. There's a lot to it. It takes a lot of attention, a lot of work for your brain to make sense of what you're hearing.
Is it true that when you gave Tom his test, you actually had Kelly's voice, his wife, and he's like, don't hear it, don't hear it, don't hear it.
Didn't hear anything.
Is that true? You have the spouse in the test?
Yeah, we could sometimes rule out selective hearing too.
Yeah, because usually that's who we hear it from. You're not hearing me. Are we hearing or are we not listening? And there is something to that.
Yeah, because they're, if you look at male voices, they're typically lower pitched. Female voices may be a little bit higher pitched, depending on the voice, and children's voices may be even higher, and sometimes softer. So some voices you may have a harder time hearing than others.
Yeah.
And if you have a high pitched or high frequency hearing loss, it may be harder to hear females or children.
I think you were surprised, too, that I didn't have hearing loss due to loud music.
Right.
You were thinking maybe.
I know with your background of, being in the music industry and DJing, weddings, which is, it's loud. It's really loud, and long term could potentially cause damage. But everyone's different. You could have two people, one, working in a factory, and one person will have a hearing loss and one won't due to noise exposure.
Sure.
And that wasn't the type of hearing loss that you had. Yours was middle ear related. So either due to ear infections as a child, possibly causing some scar tissue on the middle ear bones. But in that case, that could be potentially medically treatable. So I would recommend seeing an ear, nose, and throat physician.
Am I the only one that has anxiety when you get a hearing test?
No, a lot of people do.
Really? Why is that?
A lot of people. I don't know.
I thought the chair was very comfortable. I was ready to go to sleep.
It wasn't the chair. It was just I don't know. Maybe it's the fear of the unknown, or did I hear that, or should I? I don't know.
It's a lot of stress because, the test. I mean, we're kind of putting you to work. You have to respond to sounds.
Well, that's true,
that's why. But it's completely painless, and it's something that people do in grammar school. Maybe.
Yeah, I remember it in grammar
years
school.
ago. But it's we're kind of making you respond at work. It's kind of like the eye test. Did you see that? Is that better? Is that worse? And
I think one thing is that we should point out is that you shouldn't prejudge, yourself, because you're not the doctor. So this is a harmless, a very benign test. Get in there and see what's wrong, because it could help you in so many ways, cognitively, everything, balance wise.
And it creates a baseline. That's what.
Yes, right. Yeah, that's true.
So I had a little bit of loss at one end.
Right.
Well, let's keep an eye on it. I don't need anything yet, but let's keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
And I think that at least I know, which makes me less anxious because I know what it was.
Right.
So SyracuseHearingSolutions.com.
Right.
All one, or you can give them a shout at 468-2985. Write that down. 468-2985. Dr. Nicole Anzalone at Syracuse Hearing Solutions.
And Dr. Nicole, you have a great rest of the day. Thank you for the appointment and putting up with us.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to talk with Kevin Walma next. He's the owner of 43 North Marina up in Brewerton, and we'll talk about boating season right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. You've got The Local Show with Tom and Steve, broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Gettys Federal Savings and Loan. And of course on YouTube, check it out. You can see Steve's reaction when I tell him it's a real special weekend. Not only is it Memorial Day, and we certainly appreciate all the service of all the people who
have died. It's Memorial Day.
Right, yes. For our freedom.
Yes,
right?
Veterans Day, Memorial Day. People get them.
They do get them
mixed up.
Yes, but no, that's for sure. And it's also my 30th wedding anniversary weekend.
Wow.
Congratulations.
So as you can see, we have a trophy coming in on the live cam for Kelly. It looks like the Stanley Cup.
Oh, golly.
Oh, my goodness.
I said to my wife, what do you want for our anniversary? She said, a trip to Tahiti without you.
There we go.
No, she didn't.
I went to Tahiti.
Did you? How was it?
I don't know. We got fuel there. I was flying to New Zealand, and we landed in Tahiti, and they made us get off the plane.
Yeah. Did you get a drink?
And then they had like then you had to get back on the plane, and I left my Olympic hat from on the hat. They took my hat. There's some Tahitian wearing my hat, so I have the runway looked looked like a field out in the middle of nowhere. But so somewhere in Tahiti there is a hat that was stolen, and I'm not bitter, but yes I am. They landed for fuel there.
You know what I got Kelly for our anniversary? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We decided that we were going to do house repairs.
That's a lame excuse, Tom.
I asked her. She doesn't like to wear baubles. We're practical people. During the boat show, we thought we were going to get a boat, but then we decided, you know what? We really want to work on the house. So we did that for each other. Practical.
You should have got a houseboat.
Or we could have just sold the house and got a houseboat. Yeah, either way. Hey, tell me a little bit about Gettys Federal and their loans and what they're doing right now.
Well, they are rocking and rolling and doing their thing. People are still buying houses, Tom. And
yes,
rates may not be fabulous, like they were ridiculous forever, but they're
still not Jimmy Carter rates.
They're not Jimmy Carter rates, and if you're not old enough to remember that, you're probably not in our audience.
And
but anyway, but there's home loans going out, and now a lot of people are putting money in those certificates of deposit that have good rates. Right now, they're like waiting for the market to find itself.
Yeah.
And they feel like it's safe. They can get a good return. And the money is here. And we had Brian on last week. He's like, we're really safe. Mm-hmm. You know what?
Yeah, he did say that.
It's we're the deposits are becoming the mortgage. We're here. It isn't this far away thing. But if you're thinking of, like Tom, you did some stuff in your home, home equity loan or a mortgage or the CDs, get it at Gettys right here in town. GettysFederalSavingsLoan.com, Tom.
Very nice. Another person right in town, not too far away, is on our beautiful Oneida Lake. We're so blessed to have this lake just around the corner of us from us. They just had the tournament there with the fishing, the walleye, and there's more to come. So it's wonderful. And Kevin Walma has become a big part of it. He's the owner of 43 North Marina. How are you there, Kevin?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Tom. Hi, Steve. Thanks for having me on.
Is it true? Let's just cut to the chase. That you make all your money on props because the average depth of Oneida Lake is 3 feet. Is that true?
It does have its own revenue stream. Yes, we keep stocking props.
Oh my gosh! Right?
We also sell maps that list where the shoals are, but somehow we still end up repairing a lot of props.
Yeah, it's crazy. I can't tell you how many people I pulled off of sandbars and out of jams.
They sell props in 6-packs. It's like when people used to buy Bud Light. Here's a 6-pack of props.
And it's not that hard. It really isn't that hard to navigate.
Okay, you're looking at a guy that does at least one prop a year, so I'll just look away.
We do also sell jump boats, so the props stay inside.
That's right.
There you go.
Banging onto the ground.
There we go. So tell us about the place. So how long has this been your place?
Great question. It's been 4 years now. It's been quite an adventure. We've loved every second of it. I think, we've had a good deal of success. Certainly with the pandemic, boating became very popular again. We've had some good fortune to be able to continue to invest in the property. We got to build out that beautiful showroom, additional storage.
It is beautiful.
And there's been a lot of demand for it, so we've been able to stay busy.
During the pandemic, I was just thinking of it. Did you ever see anybody on the boat with masks on? Were there people with masks on the boat?
No, boaters are smarter than that,
Yeah,
Tom.
I was going to say, you would see people in the car by themselves with masks on.
Right.
periodically,
Walking
but
down the road
I
by
don't think I ever saw anyone on a boat.
Good. That makes me have a little hope.
There's no hope. So that showroom, Tom, if you had walked in that showroom,
years ago.
you wouldn't be fixing your house up. You'd be buying a boat. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, the new
you.
one. I did walk in. It is
Right?
it's gorgeous. What a
the light
variety.
and the height
Yeah.
and the ceilings.
We thankfully have product now, which was a challenge in the past during the pandemic. But we've got Sea-Ray boat or Stingray boats. We've got Sea Pro. We've got Scarab. We've got Lowe's. We got Viaggio pontoons. So come check us out. We've had an open house where we brought some music and food out. We try to get people coming through there.
Right.
We're offering a number of different programs. We've got some good lenders lined up for financing options. But more recently, this year, we launched as well a boat club. And I know we were just talking about that briefly. We are now the 120th location nationwide of the Carefree Boat Club
Oh, no kidding.
facility here in Syracuse, right at Oneida Lake at the marina. And what that does is it allows people to join it like a private club and have access to boats whenever they want.
Right.
Any boat? Can I have your boat?
Well, so we've got a fleet of 3.
You got a nice boat. Can I have yours?
You actually do get a choice of 3. I was surprised.
Okay.
Yeah, so right now we've got a Viaggio pontoon, brand new 2023, with a 115 horsepower on it. We've got a Sea Pro center console with a 150.
Yeah.
We've got a Scarab jet boat in the mix, and so once you join the club, you get access through a website to be able to sign up, make your reservation. You show up, jump on the boat, and go, and it's as easy as that. In terms of the commitment, there's an upfront initiation fee. You pay a monthly fee, but we've done the math. It's been proven it is less expensive than buying a new boat.
How much less expensive than owning a boat?
Well, so if we were to compare some of the boats that are in this fleet to buying them outright, paying for slips, paying for storage, paying to maintain them, replacing props, whatnot it is, paying for the insurance, it's about an eighth of the cost to join the club. And you get to use it unlimited. The other benefit really to joining Carefree and why we're happy to be a part of the national program is, people say, well, the season's very short here.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And so what does that mean? I'm only going to boat when the sun's out. But by joining this club, it's a nationwide club, and you can go to any one of the 120 locations. So if you're down in Florida, you're down in Sarasota, you're down in Palm Beach, wherever it is, there's a club. You show up, you can jump on a boat.
That's very nice.
Right. Well, Tom would have to fly there, and he's not going to do that.
But up till now, around the lake, there's only been like daily rentals, and you get a little rowboat. So this is different than that.
Yeah, no. In case anybody's confused, 43 North is where the old tradie yacht was. So everybody kind of knows that. You go over the 81 bridge, it's right there. That's where we keep our little boat. We were out this week, and it's just convenient to the river and to the lake. It's like a sweet spot.
And it's gorgeous. It's clean.
Yeah.
It looks like you just went down to Florida or something like that. It's not like typical.
So I know you guys do
Thank
service.
you,
So 43northmarina.com. And if they want to stop by the showroom and look at some boats, or if they want just have a conversation, I don't think there's a better place in the lake.
I got to agree.
It's prime space.
Appreciate that, Steve. Anywhere in the area. And in fact, come by anytime, take a look at a new boat, come take a test drive of one of the boats in the club, talk to us about being able to just get out on the lake and enjoy boating. That's what we do.
Excellent. All right, Kevin, thank you so much, and you have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
It's always a pleasure.
Coming up next, it's Sev Ganella, Director of Operations at Clean All Syracuse, right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We are back, and that means you are too. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Now, we talk about Memorial Day being, to honor the people who died in service for us. Why do people say Happy Memorial Day? It's not very happy, is it?
No.
People got to remember, it's terrible.
No, and people, I think it's amazing. And if you've ever been to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Washington, you know, we lose sight
Yes.
of what people did, and they laid their lives down for us and for our freedoms. And I think that maybe is part of the cause of what angers me so much about some of the folks and the politicians of this day, and the self-serving, and it's all about them, you know. And there was a country that was born, I believe, inspired by God in the principles and things, and imperfect, and it's morphed into something that I think is amazing. And I don't think we can ignore the Bill of Rights, and we can ignore some of those things that seem to just go away. So I have great respect for the people that died for our country, and certainly the people that serve. And hey, I have one right now serving in the Midwest, and
God bless him.
And sounds like he might be moving around a little bit. We're gonna trust God for the whole thing. So thank God for America, and thank God for the folks that laid their lives down.
Steve, that was a very lucid and inspiring little speech. You sounded like Charlie Brown right there. Very good. Very good. We're going to talk with Sev Ganella right now. He's the Director of Operations at Clean All in Syracuse. How are you there, Sev?
Great. How are you guys doing?
Very good, my friend. Clean All CNY is the website, and explain to people what Clean All is and how long your family's been involved with that.
So Clean All has been in my family for 4 generations. My great-grandmother and grandfather started selling household bleach door to door on the north side many, many years ago. And that's morphed into a lot of different things surrounding chemicals, and over the past 20 years into the swimming pool side of things. So currently right now in the swimming pool world, my company does everything there is to do with pools commercially and residentially, except we do not build pools. We rebuild pools. We do plaster work. We do liners. You name it, we do it in the commercial and residential.
Can I buy a pool from you?
You cannot buy a pool.
Oh, golly. He has to be a Scorch, right?
Anytime. Isn't that his middle name?
Yeah, right. Steve the Scorch. So when you say that, there's a lot to pools and pool maintenance.
Tell us about your pool.
Yes, thank you, Steve. I don't have a pool. We decided to remodel. So 2 things we were going to do, and then Steve's busted on me because at the beginning of the season, like when winter was still waning, I was like, Kelly really would like to get a RV. Yes. And then it was like, oh, well, maybe we'll do the pool. Well, we're thinking of a boat, and we ended up doing none of those things, and we're remodeling the house.
There you go.
Don't your neighbors have a pool?
Yes, the neighbors have one on all sides.
Is it nice?
Yes, it's beautiful.
They're lovely. Okay.
You make the rounds.
Yeah, we can sit in our new patio and watch people splash, but whatever.
Perfect.
So anyway, when people call you up, what do they get with you as opposed to some of the homogenized pool stores around here?
So all my staff is trained to answer the questions and know the knowledge behind it. My staff has been with me a long time. I don't bring people in just for the summer help. So when you come into my store, you get the real deal. You don't get a lot of fluff. We have the answers to making your pool easier to maintain. And we shoot straight.
So unpack a little of that. If there's somebody who is more fortunate than me, which is more than 3/4 of the audience, tell them how to do that with their pool, how to maintain their pool easier.
Exactly. So when I talk to people in the store about, they come in with my pool turned green, cost of chlorine, all these things.
Yeah.
And what I realized a long time ago is that people are reactive and not proactive with their pool water.
So just grab and interrupt. Where's the store? They walk into the store. Where's the store?
838 Erie Boulevard West, near the corner of Geddes.
Okay. Geddes and Erie?
Erie Boulevard West.
Okay, keep going. Yep. So people think walking to the store. Yeah. So keep going.
Retail store there, been there for about 40 years.
Okay.
So come in, you say, my pool's green. Okay, why did it turn green? Because you were reactive. You saw the pool turn green, and then you spent money on algicide, and you had labor and cleaning and vacuuming and all of this stuff. If you were proactive, there are 3 things that cause problems with pools turning green or dirty. Hot weather, a lot of rain, and a big pool party. Say, take the hot weather. You know tomorrow it's going to be 110 degrees. Today, you boost up your chlorine so that the hot weather tomorrow brings the chlorine back down to normal. Same with the rain. Before it rains, you boost up your chlorine so that the rain makes your chlorine level go back down to normal. Or the minute the pool party's done, you say, out of the pool, go home, and then you chlorinate then, because those 100 people in your pool doing things that you don't normally do in your pool have depleted your chlorine. So it's all about.
Are you saying
chlorine.
people pee in the pool?
You were going to say that, not me. I heard this was a family show.
Okay,
Is there such thing as the blue dye?
No, there's not.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Tom, explain the blue dye, just in case anybody missed it.
The old wives' tale was if you go pee in the pool, it turns blue.
And there'll be a big circle around you.
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
circle of shame.
Forever. Exactly.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
That doesn't happen.
I'm sorry.
No.
So being proactive helps you maintain your pool. And the other thing I have people say is, well, I just keep my chlorine up and I never have a problem. My water is always clear and I use a lot of chlorine, but that's okay.
Right.
So I say to people, in front of you is 2 glasses of clear, beautiful liquid. Okay, one of them's white vinegar and the other one's water.
Yes.
Pick one to drink. Oh, no, I don't know. Well, your water could look healthy, but is not healthy for your liner, for your equipment, and for your body.
Skin, yeah.
Thank you. Right. So that's the deal. So it's important to maintain your pH and alkalinity, because that makes your chlorine work, which makes your pool stay clean.
Is a saltwater pool still a thing?
Sure. Yep. Saltwater pool is it's salt in the water that makes chlorine. So when people say, I have a salt pool, I don't use chlorine. No, you're making chlorine in your pool. It is an advantage. It's a convenience. Is it a cost saver? I'm not sold on that, because the cell life, it lasts 3 or 4 years. So you got investment in a salt system and then a cell in 4 years. So it's not a cost savings, it's a convenience, and it works.
So is salt corrosive?
Certainly.
So, so it is gross. So does that affect anything? Or
So when you install a salt system, you make sure they put a sacrificial anode into the line, whoever's installing
sacrificial
it.
what?
Anode. It's something that allows the electrolysis that happens in the water to eat away at the anode and not at your pool pump or your heater or your ladders.
Folks, if you don't know what an anode is, you talk to Sev. You probably don't need to know, but
now, do you do like pool counseling? I mean, how does this work?
Absolutely. So I'm a CPO trainer. I train people to operate pools. That's one thing I'm certified for.
Right.
And we have programs out there, commercially and residentially, where here's our menu of things we can do for your pool. What do you want us to do? You want us to come out weekly? I've got accounts that we come out daily on the commercial side, that we go out to these establishments daily, test the water, maintain programs that include chemistry as part of the program year round. We do a lot of that.
Commercial or residential, you're kind of the pool answer.
Yeah, the pool experts.
Sure. So you're a certified counselor. I like that, Tom. So does the meeting start as, hi, my name is Sev. Hi, Sev. I'm a pool counselor.
Well, I think it's so important from what he's saying that the people who have such a huge investment, because it is a huge investment, they should seek out.
And you don't want your family going, it's green. I want to go, it's green. Right? I mean,
or you have little kids and you're hurting their delicate skin, So
you're right on.
Talk to Sev right there. All right, Sev, Director of Operations at Clean All Syracuse. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, have a great rest of the day. Stan Shane's coming up next. He's the owner of Syracuse Dog Fence. The show goes to the dogs once again. The local show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Here we are, and thank you for joining us. It's Tom and Steve on this Memorial Day weekend, and we have to say a special, I love you, and thank you for being my wife for 30 years. Steve. I mean Kelly.
Hey, Kelly. Congratulations.
I think I've known you longer than your wife's known you.
You have, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because, I knew you. I wasn't married.
Right, right.
In fact, you were dating Judy probably at that time.
Yeah, maybe even before that.
Yeah, maybe before that.
I started shooting weddings in 1980.
Right, yeah. And we knew each other through the 80s.
Photography, and then by the early 90s, I grew out of that, unlike some people.
Let me tell tell you something just quickly about my wife, because it is a 30th anniversary is a big deal these days, and thank you, and she is just a wonderful human being in general, and we started off truly as just friends, and then she started working a little bit, doing some interning at the radio station. She was only 4 years younger than me. Yeah, 4 years younger. Mm-hmm. And all that. We did a couple of lunches together, things like that. Everything was very casual and not like, crazy. And then we went out on a date or two. Next thing you know, 3 kids later, 30 years later, and here we are. And we're the best of friends as well. She really is
Kelly
my
is,
best friend.
She is amazing. And when people meet you and meet Kelly, they always look at Kelly and go, wow.
Yeah. How is that
How
possible?
does that? So
and we do have distinctly different personalities.
Yeah, she has one.
Yeah. She's a caring, compassionate person, and I'm just me.
Yep. And just as a side note, if you want to deal with that caring, compassionate individual, she is a realtor with the Scripper Group.
Yes, she is.
And if you want to list your home and have a conversation with somebody that is that genuinely
really
caring and very
really
good
does.
with numbers and calculating things and cost, that's Kelly over
thank
at
you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Steve. I had to do that for anniversary.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
30 years is a
It's
good
a milestone and a half. It's our pleasure right now to bring on Donna, and Stan is in the room. If you're watching the feed, the YouTube feed, you can see Stan.
Yeah,
now, are we going to blur his face out or
No,
his
we
body?
don't have to. No.
Okay, no. Well, we'll have him in full view.
Sit, Stan.
Yeah, right. But Donna's here with us. Donna, tell us about Syracuse Dog Fence. How did you get involved? What did you do before this?
Well, I was an LPN for 20-something years.
Okay.
And Stan and I decided that, we didn't want to work for other people anymore. We wanted to be our own boss.
Right. Okay.
So we put a fence in for our own dog and decided that this was something that we could do part-time.
Yeah.
Just to make a little bit of extra money.
And then it grew.
And then what happened?
Within a year's time, Stan went full-time, and then I went full-time after that.
Yeah, wonderful.
And 23 years later, here we are.
Golly. And what is Syracuse Dog Fence?
Well, what we do is we put in the electronic dog fencing to help contain dogs on their property safely and humanely.
Gotcha.
We did that pretty well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a great explanation.
That is a great explanation. And there are lots of companies that do those
Yes.
types of things. But when I look online, and because I've known you folks a long time, it seems like the vets from different places, there's a lot of folks that recommend you over maybe one of the national companies. Why is that?
I think it's because, number one, Stan and I genuinely care about our clients and our dogs. Plus, we're local. When they pick up the phone and they're talking to local people.
Right.
Stan has lived up here all his life. I moved up here from Long Island 37 years ago.
I never knew you were from Long Island.
I am a Long Island princess.
When she gets
Yes.
tired, you can tell.
Yes.
When she gets tired, the coffee comes out.
Yes, it does. And I go to the mall with the car.
Because my daughter dates a kid from Long Island, from Islip, East Islip.
Okay. I grew up a little bit east of that.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
So somebody says, oh, yeah, those things don't work. My dog's too tough.
Yeah, we get a lot of that.
I got
a pit bull. I got a Rottweiler.
You run right through it, and you know what? And they say my dog won't. Are there certain breeds of dogs you can't contain?
We have never found a dog that we cannot contain. I will tell you that.
That's a big statement.
Yeah.
A lot of it is because of the conditioning factor that we use to contain the dogs on the property. If you think about Pavlov's theory of association, when he dropped the food and rang the bell, the dog would learn that his food was coming and he'd start to salivate.
Yes.
Well, using that process, we teach the dogs that when they see the flags and they hear a sound and they feel a sensation, and then the action of us walking them away from those flags and that sensation teaches them that when that starts, they have to back away.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when Kelly says fine, and she really didn't mean it, Tom walks away.
Yes.
They know.
Exactly.
Don't tread there now.
Right.
Yeah,
or you get that look that says,
or worse.
But now some people will say that if you have the fence in the front yard
Right.
and another dog is being walked, on the street, that your dog will just bolt right through that thing.
Well,
is
they
that
will.
possible?
It is, because in the beginning, because it's not a solid fence, first of all.
Yes.
Okay. Second of all, with the conditioning process, if it's early on in the session,
Yes.
when the shock level is super low, and if you let the dog run unattached to a leash or something,
Right.
he's going to go through. Okay, because his adrenaline level is high, those shock levels aren't enough to contain them. It is enough to teach them, but not contain them. After about a week of them being on leash and learning this process and increasing shock levels to the dog's personality and tendencies, we're able to drop the leach and
Gotcha.
test the
Okay.
dog and go over.
So I don't know, 12 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was wanting to keep Zoey in the yard.
Right.
And went on a quest.
Yes.
And had talked to the Nationals, talked to some different people, and
Went to one of the worst home shows in
I
Syracuse.
went to one of the worst home shows in Syracuse that we won't name.
Okay.
Because then more people hate us than hate us now.
Right.
But ended up talking to Donna and Stan, and it just made it was deliberate. It just had common sense.
Yes,
it made
sure.
sense to do it in the way that you guys made it easy.
Right.
And
then-
Zoey did very well on the fence.
Zoey did great, and because she didn't know anything, right? And so she would chase a squirrel and turn around. She'd chase a rabbit and turn around. So in her brain, don't go there.
Right.
Don't go to those places, and we never had issues. We had the front yard zoned and the backyard zoned, and it made it so, especially in the winter. It's like, I don't want.
Right.
There she goes, and she'd do residence and shoot back in.
Yep. And we live out in Fenner, which is wide open. The nature has learned to circle our property because we have 3 beagles on the system.
Yeah.
And they run rampant on just under 2 acres.
Wow.
And rabbits and deer and other dogs and cats have learned that if they skirt the perimeter, the dogs can't get to them.
Right.
And sometimes it's real comical because you'll see this rabbit sitting on the other side of the perimeter, and the
Mocking
beagles.
them.
Seriously, and the beagles are sitting there and barking at them because they want them to come in and do their thing with them.
So if folks have a dog,
Yes.
probably works better if you have a dog. If you have a dog,
We can do cats also, but
okay.
dogs is our primary.
And you want to keep it safe in the yard. Stan, this is actually Stan's direct number. Cell number, call Stan, 415-5555. So I don't even know if you have to even write that down, but it's easy. 415-5555. Syracuse Dog Fence, I know you can give a quote right on the phone. You can talk about that, and we're good, Tom.
All right, sounds good. Kicking off hour number 2 of the local show, we'll have a conversation with Charlie Van Patten. He's the owner of Mattress Makers. Becky Oyer is a physical therapist and owner of Inspire Care of CNY. Corey Reed, general manager of Brewerton and Fulton Speedways. And then Grant Fletcher stops by. He's the marketing manager at Fleet Feet. Stick around. Hour number 2 of the local show starts really soon.
It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Gettys Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of the local show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Charlie Van Patten, owner of Mattress Makers. Becky Oyer is a physical therapist and owner of Inspire Care of CNY. Corey Reed is the general manager of Brewerton and Fulton Speedways. He'll stop by for a conversation, and then we'll wrap things up with Grant Fletcher and have a conversation about Fleet Feet. He's the marketing manager over there, and that's going to be interesting as well. Charlie Van Patten is with us right now. He is the owner of of mattress makers, and he's got a huge sale going on right now. How are you there, Charlie?
Fantastic. We're looking forward to all the customers coming in and wipe us out.
That's it. Get it all out of there.
Get it all out.
Because here's the deal. He'll make more.
And they won't come in on a truck.
Yeah,
They make them right in town.
And they'll save money. And I got a good example for you guys. Ironically, last weekend, a couple came in. They'd shopped, fortunately, before they came to us. They were buying a split king, electric bed, the whole 9 yards. And you can't believe the price. What do you think they were quoted for a price on a king-sized bed with electric bed?
$10.
$8,000.
More.
$10,000.
You got it.
Wow.
So they came to see us, and guess what they bought? They bought our best electric bed bases.
Yeah.
They bought our best latex organic mattress. It's made with a zippered cover. You zip it open, change the layers. Your husband can have firmer, you can have softer, whichever way you like it. And we sit here and tell everybody half the price, half the price. They probably think we're a little full of it, right?
Well, Tom is.
Guess what? They paid half the price.
Wow.
Literally half the price.
Now you hear all the, there's a sale this weekend, there's a sale here, there's a sale there. Here's what I know about all of them. This weekend, out of mattress makers, you're walking into the factory.
Yes.
All those other places, you're walking into a loading dock, and they unloaded all that stuff, and they stacked them up. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, the guy that loaded them marked them up, the distributor marked them up. They came from the mattresser, marked it up, but we're walking right in. And it's funny, I have a split king. What you just described is what I own.
Exactly.
And we like it because we can have our own space.
There you go.
Yeah. And if people didn't see what they wanted at the factory, like you have some made already, they can get it custom made in not too long a time, right? There's not too much of a wait time.
Oh no, absolutely. This time of year we've been doing a ton of those specials because people have campers and motorhomes and stuff, and it's disgusting the mattresses they get in those things.
It's funny. I remember a camper as a kid. The mattress was awful. It's funny. It was there. Now we were dry, so we weren't sleeping. So we were happy we weren't sleeping outside.
You mean you didn't wet the bed? Or
no. Well, so it was okay that it was, but the mattresses were just awful.
Yeah.
That were in that old camper. So right now, talk about that a little bit. So camper mattresses, boat mattresses, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, we do them all. We're doing the two-piece boat mattresses and camper mattresses where they flip them over halfway over when they're not using the bed and stuff.
Yeah.
Could someone bring it, like if they could they just bring in the one that was there and say, here, make this?
Yeah.
Generally speaking, especially with the bow of a boat, they pretty much have to because there's no way you can duplicate the bow of a boat.
Well, how about all these people opening up their camps for the season, and they walk in on Memorial Day and they get the odor. And they go, oh my goodness, this place smells, and it's a lot of times the mattresses, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, getting back to the sale, we are offering a little extra incentive. We're giving 10% off on our regular line and a couple $100 off on organic. We want to encourage people to get in right now and take advantage of it.
So this is math. So I'm going to unpack it for Tom.
Yes. So do math for me.
So half price is what people pay normally.
Exactly.
Because they're not paying for all those middlemen.
Yep.
And then, so another 10% off, and they're seeing the product, and it's made right here, and it's warranted right here, and you're dealing with the people keeping the money in the economy here locally. So the location, and we'll mention this later, but the location, Bridge Street, behind Henry Wilson Jewelers.
Yes.
Get out of Bridge Street. Don't go to Home Depot. If you want to go there, fine. But if you see our friends at Fleet Feet right across the street.
That's right.
Right across the street down there, and people can go in. They can actually see the factory. They can have a conversation with someone that actually cares. That isn't just trying to drive a sale and isn't going to threaten you if you don't buy before you leave.
You said come to the factory and they take care of it. We take care of our customers. Just a sidebar on that customer that bought the King splits. They had purchased a particular name brand beds, had them 3 months. There was a problem. They went back. They were told, sorry, can't help you. And we hear that time and time again. What's frustrating to our people is when people come in and say, geez, I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this mattress and the freaking thing is no good, and so now I don't have any money left. What can you do for me? Wait a minute. You should have come here first.
Sure.
And given us $1,000.
Right. But if you look online, again, the sales this weekend, and it's worthwhile. Saturday, all day Sunday. Go there. So they're getting additional discounts. But are you going to be there the whole time, Charlie?
I'll be in and out.
Okay. You're gonna be signing autographs because Charlie has a photograph, right? And he signs Charlie, the mattress maker. And are you gonna be handing a table?
I've autographed more than one mattress.
Really?
Yes, I've had
That's
customers
cool.
want me to sign the mattress, which I've got a special pen and I can actually do it.
Yeah. Even the naming protocol. So you've got like Skinny Atlas and Camillus, and even some of the mattresses are named with local towns, right?
Yes, we kind of wanted to equate to the local area, and we dealt with university students, so we called one Euclid and one Comstock.
That's kind of neat.
When we wanted something a little better, we called Skinny Atlas or the Casanovian.
Because those people are better.
Right.
So all this is happening at the, in
both
Duet.
locations.
But both locations, I was going to say. So
okay, I was thinking I thought it was just the factory.
No, it's hard for people to travel that distance from North Syracuse.
But they're from the factory. So the other one is across from Chick-fil-A, North Syracuse, Cicero, Clay, Salina. What is that there, Tom?
Well, officially it's Cicero.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so there's the outlet store there. But these places say we're factory outlets. They're not factory outlets.
No.
Well, their factory is in Zanzibar or something. Yeah. Malaysia.
Yeah, you don't. Upstate New York, you don't find anybody like us at all anymore.
Right. Where's the nearest factory? Where's the nearest place that actually makes mattresses?
Jamestown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ohio?
No.
Might as well be. Have you been there? It's going to take you 5 hours to get there. So no place else makes them.
No. I mean, if you go back to the turn of the century, Syracuse had a half a dozen mattress factories, but it was very labor intense because you didn't buy a new mattress. You took the old one and redid it.
What was Penfield Manufacturing, where the guy just
That's right
remodeled
around
the
corner.
house?
That's
That was a mattress manufacturer.
It was a manufacturer.
Yeah, Chuck Gordon. He said he had a heart attack, and he said, well, one of two things is going to happen. I'm going to stay here, and the business is going to be here, or I'm going to leave and live.
Okay.
So he left.
Yeah.
Well, so that house just got remodeled on top.
Yeah, they're redoing the whole thing.
Yeah, that building.
Pretty cool.
That's amazing. So if you've been putting off getting a mattress, and
now's the time.
Oh my goodness gracious! So stop out to the factory sale on Mattress Makers, Bridge Street,
right
across from Fleet Feet, behind Henry Wilson Jewelers, sort of where the old Friendlies was. Don't go on the boulevard. There's a bunch of other mattress stores there. If you want to pay more, go to those. But if you want to go to the factory, Bridge Street, and you also can pop in across from Chick-fil-A in Cicero.
All right, and say hello to Charlie. He'll be in and out. Thank you, Charlie.
Get some mattresses. We'll stand behind it.
Excellent.
Save you money.
Charlie Van Patten, owner of Mattress Makers, right there. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Becky Oyer. She is the owner of Inspire Care of CNY. Interesting conversation. Stick around right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
You founded the last bastion of talk radio right here on your Memorial Day
weekend. It's not the last bastion of talk radio, Tom.
Don't let them know that. You gotta get them excited.
I have a Tom bingo card over here. Welcome back, check. Last bastion, check. I think you need some new platitudes.
No. I like where I'm at. Welcome in on this, Memorial Day weekend. Steve, I think for the first time in many, many years, I might be a little ahead of the curve in terms of my flower beds and getting the yard ready. Oh. Yeah, because we didn't start finishing off planting and everything till late August last year.
Well, your timing might be right. Our friends, the Wades, who I talk about, that we were good friends of ours, they planted everything.
Oh, very nice.
And then
what?
It froze.
Oh, right. Yeah, because of the frost
They lost a whole bunch of different things.
Around my neighborhood, there were people who had blankets and everything all over their flowers.
Yep.
And stuff
Yeah, they
like
didn't.
That,
They should have. And but so I think your timing is great.
That's too bad.
Yeah. Yep.
Because that's a lot of money. Flowers are not cheap.
Well, it is. They're flowers and they're zucchini, which we'll eat, and the
right.
tomatoes they'll give us. So really, let's be honest, this affected us.
Yes, it's affected.
They're going to be 2 weeks later now. So.
Well, I hope everybody enjoys the weekend and the extended day off and all that kind of stuff. So right now, it's our pleasure to bring a new person onto the show. Her name is Becky Oyer, and she is a physical therapist, owner of Inspire Care of CNY. Becky, how are you?
I am doing well. Thank you. Great to be here.
Well, it's good to have you. I noticed there's several, what do they call those things, abbreviations or titles? Hey, I've got PT. I knew that was physical therapy.
Good job, Tom.
What's a CMC?
CMC means that I'm a certified care manager.
Okay. And a CDP?
Yes, I am a certified dementia practitioner.
Okay. Wow. You got a lot of stuff going on there. Were you a nurse at all? Or
Nope.
Okay,
Nursing is not in my background, but I have nurses on my team.
Gotcha.
But I've been a physical therapist, and we'll just leave it at 40 plus years. We won't go into how long.
I thought she was about 27 years old, so you got
so
me
kind.
there.
Yeah.
What inspired you to start this company?
Well, Inspire Care was inspired by my mom. My mother gracefully aged with Parkinson's for 25 years.
Wow.
And I needed to leave my profession of physical therapy to set up home care for her in a county that was not here in Onondaga. So I didn't have my team. And so I learned that it's not common sense nor easy for people to set up a home care system and team and navigate through without background.
Yeah.
And so when I left her well appointed with all of her caregivers, I came back to Onondaga County and said, and that was 12 years ago, that I think there are other families that need to know how to navigate through. So geriatric care manager is what care management came into my realm of scope, decided I needed to join an association, the Aging Life Care Manager, and I also needed to become certified. So I'm a certified care manager.
So what does the team look like? Because I hear you talk about a team. You also said you had to go do that. Well, you chose to do that.
I did.
That was a deliberate choice.
Absolutely.
To choose care over your career, whatever was going on. So kudos to you. And then in that space, you said, wow, there needs to be some help here. So you mentioned the players on the team. Give us an example of what that team looks like for someone that is, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe it's a child of an aging adult that needs some services, and there's things and we don't know where or how. So explain that to us.
So the team actually I've put together and hired over the years includes nurses, social workers, PT, physical therapist, occupational therapist, and paraprofessionals, aides, companion level, that we try to make sure that every need is touched on that someone might need to age well. That's our tagline, to age well. And there's so many great providers in the community that we collaborate with and can reach out to. I would say we're ultimately problem solvers. We are advocates. I like to say that we could be the coach, and then you could be actually the director of the team. Some people use orchestras as how to see our role, the conductor, and some people will say it's a football team, and you need to have somebody directing.
When you were in physical therapy full-time, did you specialize in geriatric?
I did at the end of my career. I started out with the children, pediatrics.
Oh, yeah.
Went to rehab, and then at the end of my career, I was here with the Visiting Nurses Association for 22 years doing home care.
Okay.
I think that allowed me to understand what going into somebody's home, whether it's an apartment, a home, or a facility was like.
Yeah. How do you vet people? Because there are folks that say, we're just going to have the neighbor take care of mom, or for example, and then you talk to someone like Sheila Ostrom, right, from Senior Home Care Solutions, and you go, okay, they've been trained in dementia. There's certain things. How do you say yes and no to people that you would refer or make the team?
Actually, that's part of what we do to help families find the best of the best, so that we want to make sure there's background checks, that they're educated well, they're receiving training on an ongoing basis. So we can kind of help those families make those decisions well informed that we've already vetted them. And so I would say that it's what do I want to say, ongoing process, because we're always getting new providers in Onondaga County. And we also are out in 4 other counties around Onondaga.
So who should call you and have a conversation with you?
An adult child who's worried that their parents are aging and maybe they've noticed that the finances are not being taken care of. Maybe they're not grooming well. They're finding that they're not staying up on their driving skills. Those people who are challenged by how to navigate that could give us a call. We really start with an assessment. It could only be a standalone assessment with recommendations, or it could be an ongoing. We have clients now that have been with us 8 and 9 years.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And do you go to the house and make that assessment, and do you do it for free?
We go to the home. The assessment is not free because what we're doing is using our expertise. It's a nurse, it's a physical therapist, it's a care manager coming in with the expertise. We do a half an hour free info session to make sure that what we offer fits your needs. So that will be done first.
Do you have events throughout the year?
We do. Actually, we are great sponsors of the Parkinson's Association here with Empower Parkinson's. We sponsor with Hospice. We are part of the Dementia World and the Alzheimer's Association. So we don't put on necessarily events, but we do come along and provide our expertise there.
Yeah. Did you have another question, Steve?
Yeah. So in the realm, so I'm trying to get a scenario. So if I have an aging parent, typically it'd be a parent, and there's a variety of challenges that I'm dealing with. You will help vet the people, help me separate the sheep and the goats.
Right.
Because it's scary.
It is.
I don't want someone taking advantage of mom or dad. I just don't know. So folks can call you to start a conversation. Did you charge for that initial phone call?
No, not at all. That's a free consult or info session.
Okay, so if someone is in that position, they can call the 447-3164. Is that the right number?
That's correct.
So write that down, 447-3164, and it's Inspire Care CNY, inspirecarecny.com, and they can just start the conversation. And if you can help, you'll tell them, and if you can't, you won't. But it's kind of learning to learn what we don't know.
Correct. And every phone call, those people go away with something in some place to be able to find a solution to their problem.
Great.
Very good. Becky Oyer right there. You're so well spoken. I'd love to have.
Are you talking to me, Tom?
You ever do any co-hosting?
I knew that was going. I knew it.
She's very good. All right. Becky, she's the owner of Inspire Care of CNY. You can see them online at inspirecarecny.com. You have a great rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you both.
Okay. Corey Reed's coming up next. He's the general manager of Brewerton and Fulton Speedways right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it on this Memorial Day weekend. Happy Memorial Day to all of you. Hope you're getting a good kickoff to the summer. It's going to be a good one. Tonight's gonna be a good night. How to play that song?
Yeah, I'm sure you've played that before.
Yeah, just about past couple of weekends I've been using it, and people love it.
Yeah,
classic never goes away. Speaking of classic, Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts.
Well, yeah. If you haven't protected your home and family and put your home in a trust, you're probably making a mistake. And I can say that because I'm not a lawyer.
Right.
I can say whatever I want, I guess.
That's you play one in your mind.
But here's what I know. Long-term care, 7 out of 10 people will be in long-term care at some point, or rehab, and at $15,000, $18,000 a month.
Right.
Say bye-bye to the house if that bad boy's not in a trust.
Right.
And it's more important for like regular people than it is even people that have crazy money. Or maybe you just got to update your will, but Safe Harbor Wills and Trust, they're doing it. look at their referrals, look at their record, look at the people that they're working with. They're outstanding.
Watch their videos on the website.
Yeah, watch their videos. Safe Harbor, safeharborwillsandtrust.com. Tom.
All right. It's our pleasure to bring back Mr. Summer. It's Corey Reed, General Manager of Brewerton and Fulton Speedways. How have you been there, Corey?
Fantastic, gentlemen. Glad to be back on.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
I think the last time we had you on, you might have had a mask on and all that stuff.
Could have been.
Yeah.
I think I was here last summer.
Yeah.
Are you that person that wore a mask all alone in their car by themselves?
No, that's not me.
Okay.
No.
Good for you.
Can you explain who that person is and what are they thinking?
They have an Uber sign in the window. That's about
And
it.
a Coey 6 bumper sticker on their Prius. Sorry. Did I say that? Tom, am I going to get in
You
trouble?
said it. I believe you.
Hey, we all have our opinions.
Yeah.
And, that's the beauty behind free speech, right? So you're up at where do you spend most of your time? Both places?
Yeah,
Okay.
a balance between both. I actually have a main office in Baldwinsville, and then so I was just left there, and I'm over here. I'll go to Brewerton today, and then Fulton most of tomorrow.
Yeah, so on the weekends, Friday night,
Yep.
Brewerton Speedway.
Yep.
I know when I'm out in the boat, Tom, I can hear them.
Yes.
And I'm saying.
But first, you're just taking for granted that everybody knows what they do. So let's start by having them
Everyone
say,
knows what they do.
Yeah. Are they asphalt or dirt?
What?
Well, yeah, exactly. So,
Dirt. All
He
right.
knows dirt.
I know Brewerton's dirt.
Yeah, all right. Talk to her.
Dirt.
So tell us about the speedways, the nights
Yes,
around, and
there
what
we
you
go.
do.
There we go.
Every Friday night, all summer long, with Brewerton Speedway. We've been doing it since the '60s, and each and every weekend for basically we about 1st of May right till Labor Day, and then we have a bit of a break, and then a special. But it's every Friday night. Kids are free each and every week for us, 18 and younger. So a little slice of Americana we were talking about.
Dirt track racing, and are those cars with big blocks or small block?
Yep, we have a
motors?
combination of both. Predominantly big block is our headline class with some small blocks mixed in. Then we have like a crate engine sportsman class, which is the same car just with a smaller engine as our second class.
Right.
Then we have a little mini mods, some mod lights, so we call them, and then a 4-cylinder class. So it's a little bit for everybody.
Is it the same thing on Saturday at Fulton, or is it a different mix of cars?
Similar.
Yeah.
It's more or less the same. We run just exclusively a small block Chevrolet engine up there as our headline class, but the same car, but just a different engine package.
And that's no longer asphalt. That's dirt
That's
as well.
also dirt
That's
as well.
been
Used
dirt.
to be pavement.
But
Yeah,
that's been dirt since like 1995, isn't it?
No, more like the late 70s,
There we
early
go.
80s.
See, Tom,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Tom.
You're close, but
Good golly.
it's still under there. It's still pristine. I've always joked with the boss that we should, about every few years, you need to add clay. You need to, because it between dust and between the cars coming in with it caked all over them, whatever. So you need to add it. Well, I always say, before you add it the next time, why don't we peel what we have off? Let's run one pavement weekend. But
Right.
so far,
So
he's
if
balked.
people haven't been exposed, I used to go to Rolling Wheels as a kid.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, once in a while, and it was
Wii
it was
Sports Speedway? Yeah.
family fun. If people haven't been to a local dirt race, why should they go, and what will they expect? What will they see?
Excitement, noise. The kids go nuts because it's just there's constant action, especially Brewerton because it's just a short track. It's like less than a half
The
mile.
energy going,
and the up in your face racing, especially Brewerton because you're really close to the action,
Right.
and it's tight racing. So there could be a spin out, there could be a crash, there could be just 3 wide action, all throughout the field. Especially this year, our modified field, our headline class is really loaded. We've been averaging about 30 cars a night, which is
Adam
a
and
lot.
Steve Roberts, are they coming down to see you?
Yep, they come down every week.
Do they come in? Because they used to race out at the Land of Legends there for a while.
He's still doing that as well, but their Friday night is with us, so that's been great to have them as well. So Adam's
I
like
noticed
his
you're
name.
not. Yeah, right. I noticed you're not mentioning anything about electric cars. So the electric cars haven't
we're
made their
holding out
way.
as long as we can. Probably someday they're going to tell us we have to, but we're going to try.
Governor Hochul, actually, I'll tell you now, she put a bill out.
No.
Yes, that you have to actually pedal the car.
I believe it. Sounds like
I
her.
thought you were going to say they were going to try and make it electric. But there's nothing like the smell of C4 on a Friday night.
Exactly. Yeah, we actually D113 is
Oh, is
basically
that what it-
D13 is what our fuel is for all of our big blocks. It's
Isn't that
high octane racing.
So what time we
gasoline.
start on those nights?
7 p.m. We open around 5:30 and get started with hot laps about 6 and race at 7.
So from the pandemic, have you seen a massive increase, or did things stay level? You know.
I'll be honest, our first year back, our industry was one of the first to really get back. So many things got, in 21, when we all came back, got canceled. A lot of things didn't make it back. So our 21 was exceptional.
Great.
I think everything caught up in 22, so maybe anything we gained kind of slid back a little bit, but we're back to kind of pre-pandemic at this point.
Yeah.
Solid, good crowds, probably not what they were in the 90s, but nothing really is.
Right. It's such family fun, though.
Oh, it is.
You go, you pick a car, you're just like, hey, look at that one, and it's so local. You got people from all right here. It's I don't know. It's
well,
just
a lot of drivers are local, and they got the aunts, uncles, nephews.
That's a huge part of it, and it's funny too. Like especially our sportsman class, some make it a bucket list thing. Like some of these guys that come out are 50, 60 years old.
Yeah,
they
not that old, Tom.
And then there's others that are literally 13. And Dad's putting them in the car, and so we see a wide range. So there could be 2 cars racing for the win that are 40 years difference in age, which is
who are the
pretty
top
impressive.
The top 5 contenders this year?
At Brewerton, pretty much. Like Larry White, obviously is a strong
Does it help
contender.
that he owns the place?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. But Chris Heil was our track champion last year. Chris beat Larry out, and Chris has been a front runner. Max McLaughlin, who of course is the son of Magic Sue's Mike McLaughlin, who's a Hall of Famer and national, raced the Busch Grand National Series for a long time. So he races with us weekly. Jimmy Phelps is a perennial contender each and every week at Brewerton. It's just
do you have any of the Johnsons or McCready or any of those guys?
No Johnsons, no McCready's. Timmy's the only. Timmy and Jordan both still race or are racing, but neither of them are with us.
Well, Tom, it's good, dirty fun.
Yeah, it's dirty fun. Really fun. Quickly, any thoughts of expansion or anything like that for the next year? Or,
no, it's pretty much standard fare, hardcore, in your face stuff every Friday night.
Brewerton Speedway, Friday nights, Fulton Saturday night. You're not going to regret it. It's so much fun. I'm going to head back out. We used to do it, and it's just a lot of fun.
Great. Thank you very much, Corey, for all you do and all your people do. All right.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Have a great rest of the day. All right. Grant Fletcher's coming up next. Sales trainer. Well, actually, he's a marketing manager now at Fleet Feet. Stick around right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Happy Memorial Day sale. Isn't everybody having a sale this weekend?
I'm not.
No.
Maybe you catch some fish, but I'm not having a sale.
You get us for the bargain price of absolutely free.
That's right. I did catch some northern pike this last week, Tom.
You did, huh?
Yeah, I was drifting over there in Big Bay and using small. I was trying to catch some walleye. Yeah. First, I caught a little perch that was throw that thing back, and then. I got 3 different northern. I didn't want the northern, so I was trying to break them off, trying to cut it with the pliers by the boat. I
like the northerns. I don't know. Why don't you mount one? Get one mounted.
I don't want to look at a few. Here, honey, let's put this on the wall. Where do you think that's going?
What real fishermen do.
Somebody loves his wife, doesn't get a fish mounted and stick it on the wall. I'm sorry. But there is a way you can clean them and cut the bones out. I've yet to figure that out.
Yeah.
So if you're listening and you know how to get the bones out of a northern and you care, Steve at ZoeyAdvertising.com. I could use all the help I can get.
Yes. Oh, that's for sure. You're listening to The Local Show, by the way, folks. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studio, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. We're also on YouTube. Look us up over there. And you will see Grant Fletcher, who is the marketing manager at Fleet Feet.
Which is right across the street
from Mattress
Makers having this huge sale this weekend. So you can double dip. Get some shoes, get a bed. It's right there on Bridge Street.
Grant, it's great to have you back.
Nice to be here, Tom.
And I just want you to know we don't take you for granted.
Thank you.
You can't help yourself, can you? Are you still a big shot?
I am, yeah.
Okay, good.
I haven't let it go to my head yet.
You haven't?
No.
Okay.
How many stores are you marketing manager of?
2. Okay. One in DeWitt and one in Clay.
I'm sure that keeps you busy enough.
It does.
Tell us about Fleet Feet from a marketing perspective.
Sure. Fleet Feet is a run specialty store where 45% of our customers aren't runners.
How about that?
What are they?
They're people that understand the value of coming in for a fit by an expert to help them solve aches, pains, injuries when it comes to their feet and their body.
That's interesting. I think you and I were talking a little bit about that really people that's my age and Steve's age, in their late 50s and early 60s, need a good sneaker. Now they realize, boy, when you wear a bad one, you feel it.
Yeah, it's not about fashion anymore. It's all about function. And how can we put you into something that's going to help you stay active and be out there doing things with the family?
So are the shoes ugly?
Not at all,
okay. No. I'm just checking. but it's funny because the name is a bit of a misnomer when, around half your people don't run. Or at least on purpose, unless there's a fire. They're not like regular, runners. But it's about, because I think I mentioned last time, when I got measured, I found out that my arch was a different size than my foot.
Right.
And that made a huge difference in the way I buy the shoes.
It is. And people are surprised that most aches, pains, and injuries arise in that arch. Because some people like me that have a very high arch, it's very firm, very stiff, it doesn't move. But somebody that has a lower arch, their foot is very flexible. And repetitive motion, it's
what do you do with people with fat feet like Tom?
It's wide, it's not fat.
It's big boned.
It's paddle like.
We refer to that as high volume.
Yeah. It's true.
So what do you do? How do you deal with that?
Again, we have different widths. 4 feet, same as length. And we seriously have one company that they don't make wide shoes, they make high volume shoes. And and there's only about a 1/4 inch difference between each length and each width. It's not a lot. It's just enough to allow the toes to splay the way that they're supposed to and move. And
right.
Is it true that the name used to be Fat Feet, but you changed it to Fleet Feet?
That I'm not aware of. Okay. No, I haven't seen that in any of our history books.
Do you have special tools like the Brannick device and all that over there?
I'm sure the people that started the Brannick device right here in Syracuse are very disappointed because we have 3D technology now that you stand on. It gives us a static image of your feet, and then we have another piece of technology that you actually walk across, and it shows us how much pressure you're putting on your feet as you move, and we use all of this information to find the shoes that are going to be best for you.
That's wonderful. So do your brands, are they all orthopedic in some way, or is there any just glitz and glamour there?
Actually, very few of them are the orthopedic style. We're a run specialty store. We tell people, they come in and they say, well, I'm not a runner. Well, that's great. Our shoes are designed for motion. Running, walking, cycling, whatever you're going to be doing in them. And nowadays, pickleball is the hot topic.
Is. Yeah.
When you say orthopedic, that just makes me think ugly. I mean, when you think about it, I had to go to the doctor and get orthopedic shoes, and you just picture this awful looking shoe. So really, when someone needs an orthopedic shoe, what they need is a shoe that fits them in a custom way, properly, as opposed to just grabbing something off the rack at a big box store or something. So it's more custom. Is that a better word than orthopedic?
Completely, yes. And I'll use the comparison to sitting in a Chevy Impala versus a Chevy Malibu. Mm-hmm. They're both going to get you from point A to point B, but when I sit down in a Malibu, that tight seat structure I don't like. But in an Impala, I can get in and I can move and I can be free.
Yeah.
And it's the same when it comes to our footwear. Right. Your foot has to match the shape of the shoe, and that's where the relief and the comfort is truly.
How does anybody know this unless they go to someone that knows what they're doing?
They don't. Unfortunately, it used to be that people went into a store and they pulled out the Brannick device for whether it be an athletic shoe or a dress shoe.
Yes.
And you were fit. And somewhere in our instant gratification of, I can just walk into this store and I like the color of this one and it's in my price range, I'm going to pull it. And they take it home and they put it on and they realize, that was the most stupid thing I've ever purchased. And it sits in their closet until they want to get rid of it.
If they buy online, they go, right.
That too.
I'm always a size 12 or whatever the heck it is. Maybe not. Don't different shoes run different?
They do. And that's the nice part about Fleet Feet is we have our Happy Fit guarantee that you can use the shoes however you want for up to 60 days. And if they aren't living up to the expectations that you thought, you can bring it in. We'll go through the process again. We'll exchange it. You can just return it for your money back.
Right.
So that doesn't seem regular.
It isn't.
No, it's something special.
So 2 months. So 45 days.
Right. Yeah. 60 days. 60 days you can go up
right.
to. Now, I just want to make sure we get the sale in. Is there something special going on here Memorial Day?
It's called Gear Up for Summer.
Okay.
We have all kinds of deals that you can stop in at either location. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we're open 10 to 5 at both locations.
Great.
We've got footwear deals. We've got apparel deals. We have hydration deals. If you need something to be active this summer, stop in and we can take care of you.
This is a great introduction to the store. Make it this weekend, please.
Yes.
And then tell them that you heard it right here on the local show, and they will really super take care of you. But Grant, we got to wrap things up. Thank you so much for being here again.
Oh, thank you.
Hope to have you again, okay?
Thank you.
Get out there and move.
So there's the one up at Great Northern Mall across from it, and the one on Bridge Street we talked about across from Mattress Makers.
That's right. There you go. All right, Steve, I know you're going to get out there and do absolutely nothing.
I'm going to do it well.
Very good. When you start jogging, I'll start jogging with you. How's that?
That's a safe bet.
All right. Well, look, that's going to wrap up the local show. On behalf of the local show, Zoey Advertising, and Tom and Steve, God bless you and your families. Take a walk today and every day with a friend or family member. Keeps the weight down and the mind clear, and you can use your new footwear from Fleet Feet. The local show can be heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1, and then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. Until next week, get down to business, keep doing business locally, and tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, the iHeartRadio app, and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising 3809.